let's go. 48 now past the hour. We got to move on. Boy, I would love to make some
The logs are
comments here.
critical.
Yeah, okay. The far eastern areas around sunrise, we're going to have a sun break or two, but not very much of that. The rain now moving across Texas into southern Oklahoma. There's a little bit of sprinklage north of Oklahoma City, and then check out the snow. All right, the snow is flying across west central Oklahoma and also into the high plains of Texas, right along the I-40 corridor where you cross the state line. This is what it looks like right now. Lots of snow coming down here again across the far western part of the state. And here in our area, we have mostly dry conditions, but we've got some sprinkles starting to show up now around Edmond and Shawnee, and that basically will advance east-northeast. So around the 9 and 10 o'clock hour, we're going to have more of some cold showers, some rain here and there. Once we cross over into the lunch hour, into the 1 to 2 o'clock time period, it's still mostly rain from the areas that are receiving precipitation, but there will be some mixing in there with some snow. And then roughly around that 3:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock time period, it'll turn over to snow for most locations, and we'll have some heavier snow bursts that will be along and south of I-40. Early tomorrow morning, we'll have a flurry or two, that's it, and then another system is late Saturday night and Sunday. That's an Arctic air mass that will be arriving, and that's going to knock the temperatures down for several days next week. So the counties that are highlighted in red, that's a winter storm warning, and then on both sides of that, southern Kansas, far northern Oklahoma, and far southern Oklahoma to North Texas, that's a winter weather or a travel advisory. Generally speaking, you have usually lower amounts in the travel advisories and higher amounts, usually 4 or above, in winter storm warning criteria snows for here in eastern Oklahoma. As Stephen mentioned, roads are going to be fine for most of this until this afternoon, the evening commute and the evening hours. It'll be slushy. The road conditions, the temperature is still pretty warm from the relatively warm weather we've had recently. Some of this, especially when it falls lightly, it will melt. It'll be the heavier bands that'll start to pile up. And speaking of which, banding of snow may result in wide variations of snowfall with this storm system. So the darker shade of blue is representing 2 to maybe 4 inches of snow, and that would encompass most of the Tulsa County area. The far southern part of Tulsa County southward to both sides of I-40, there should be some banding of heavier snows in this region. And so 4 to 5 on the bottom end, 6 to 7, possibly a couple of locations that could see the higher end there. And we think most of the higher end snow totals will end up being across northwestern Arkansas, where the higher elevation, the Boston Mountains, will play a role in that. So here's the lunch hour today, and notice these temperatures. I mean, this is not supporting wintry weather at this point. It's that colder air aloft that moves overhead, and it goes down to the very lowest part of the atmosphere. So the changeover is trying to take place around the 3 to 4 o'clock time period, especially western sections should already be snow. The far eastern areas is still rain. Here's 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. It's predominantly snow at this point. And then we have a couple of heavy snow bands that sneak across I-40, and then it quickly leaves. So it's going to take a while to start, and then it moves out pretty quickly tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow would be in the mid to upper 30s. And then we head into the 50s for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, Monday, and a couple of days next week, we're back to Arctic air.